All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. So I had some time to do a quick live stream this morning. I know it's pretty early, depending on the time zone you're in. So we'll just go with this, and you can watch it later. So, like always, none of this is financial advice. Always do what's best for you. Just use this for your education and entertainment purposes only. So I always like to just kind of recap the market where we are. As you can see, we're in this final push higher in the Dow Jones with an overthrow of the trend line. Um, we've got a peak, a lower peak, a lower peak, a lower peak, a lower peak. Uh, I mean, the bearish divergence is at its max, and we may have just broke on Friday that 4 hour. That could trigger a massive selling cascade. Next week could be a bloodbath, guys, in the market. It could be. And I think the news next week is CPI. And wouldn't it be awesome to see CPI inflation much higher than people think? I was just shopping for Christmas, and I noticed a lot of prices are higher than they were last week. And I was like kind of confused. I was like, why would prices be higher? Because typically prices go down as you get closer to Christmas. Shopping for TVs and things, but they rose prices compared to last week. It wasn't a Black Friday sale. This is like last week after Black Friday. And then I was asking, and they're worried about the tariffs. They're worried about the coming thing. So people are stocking up, buying things a lot, getting ahead of it. Manufacturers are loading up on. So it's the anticipation of inflation that's happening right now. Now that won't show up in our data coming up, but that will show up in January's data. But maybe inflation will be hot. But either way, we don't trade the news. I've never done that, but we do watch it. You can see the bearish divergence, and no matter how I slice this count, it's essentially I mean it's over. I can't get it. The only way it could extend is if this was a 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, and we like moon, like that's the moon boy scenario. So I think where the rubber meets the road. One side of the market is about to get annihilated. One side of the market is about to be like annihilated. Is what is we're on the verge of. Now this is the short-term chart. Now again, I always want to show the long-term view. The long-term view, again, let's just do something here. Let's remove our drawings, if I can do that. Look at that. I mean, if I just showed you this chart of any stock, any penny stock, any stock, would you go all in with your whole stack right here? Well, that's what investors are doing right now. We have record inflows into the market. We have massive long exposure from institutional investors to the most that we've ever seen in history. But at this point right now, Warren Buffett has almost $300 billion of cash raised by selling. So what does he know? I mean, again, Warren Buffett is the king of fundamental investors, and he's out, pretty much out of the market. Now he's not completely, but he's pretty much out. But yet, a lot of people, it's like, it can't lose. We can't lose here. You're stupid for not going all in on stocks. Well, maybe we'll look back at this as a historic moment that we lived through an amazing bull market, and we'll regret like not taking advantage of this when we get the other side of it. Because this will come to an end. This is coming to an end, guys. This cannot keep going mathematically on forever. It just won't do it. It's taken exponential amount of money invested into the market to keep this bubble going. That's how exponents work. It's not a linear relationship, and the national debt is helping fuel a lot of this, and that is increasing exponentially, and that is at its tipping point. So there is just a mathematical certainty that this cannot sustain itself much longer. Just there's not enough money in the system, and if they keep printing, they'll have to print even more trillions, and then tens of trillions, and then hundreds of trillions. Like, are they gonna hyperinflate the case, save the market? I don't think they will do that intentionally. Now maybe they will. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they will do that and will become Venezuela, and then we will do a moon boy. But that'll be hyperinflation. But there's the chart. And again, I always there's the chart. There's the divergence. So if you're thinking what I'm saying is crazy talk, and I don't know what I'm doing, and this is just look at this chart, and it tells you everything you need to know about where the market is going to be in the next 5 to 10 years on the backside of this. Okay, and we all remember this bubble, right? This one here. So, and there's always a pullback, no matter the degree. Don't be delusional. Don't be naive to think it just goes up forever. It will not go. This cycle will end, and when it does, it's going to be a catastrophe. So we're on the verge of a economic catastrophe that most people are oblivious to, and now's the time to prepare by, I would say, raising cash and being strategic in some positions on the short side and possibly long VIX as this plays out. So that's the game plan. And of course, there's a lot of day trading opportunities in the market. A lot of day trading opportunities to take advantage of the dumb money that's chasing right now. A lot of dumb money's coming in the market now, and you can make 15-20% in 24 hours on a lot of these low cap stocks and just get in and out. But eventually that's going to end, and I think what I showed earlier is the week coming up. I think the market is susceptible to a major pullback, a big pullback. So that's the Dow Jones. The SPY is in the same situation, just kind of tracing out this final impulse. Maybe I could put the 3 there, put that 4 there, like that. So that could be 5. We could maybe still be in 5. This is my ultimate target. We almost tagged it. We're so close. Almost tagged my target. And then the triple Qs is in the target, and that is its 5th wave. Again, a lot of divergence. So again, the market is running on fumes. Investors are just oblivious to what is about to happen. There's so many wave 5s in the market, it's not even funny. But good, if you're making a lot of money on the long side, good for you. You did it. The house lost, you won. Don't be a greedy bastard. Take some profit. Don't be greedy. You got to take some profit. I mean, why would you? This is a historic moment in the market, and you're not going to take any profit. You won. If you held long all the way to this point, you won. You did it. You are the man or the woman. You did it. But you don't get to show anything for it if you don't take profit and lose it all. And that's what's going to happen to a lot of people. The IWM quietly peaked once it tagged my target. This is kind of fading. Now this is an area for a dip, a counter trend dip buy, either a retrace back up before a much bigger decline. But it's very risky, and this is kind of like a bull flag. So there is a counter trend rally potentially here to come back to 242. Keeping an eye on that as this consolidates. But since it's counter trend, it's always a high risk because it could become a 1-2, 1-2, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's counter trend. This could easily be a top tier and may never come back to these levels for many, many years to come. It's possible. Now, this type of price action shows that the market's still trying to buy it, but the bulls don't have enough energy. They're losing and losing. So are we going to get capitulation? If we do that, this flag will fail, and there'll be a panic selling because there's a lot of dudes on the internet that loaded up on calls on the Russell here on this breakout. They're like, they put their whole net worth in TNA. One guy I follow has got more TNA than I think he's ever bought. That could end up being a calamity for these people if this doesn't break out soon. And if the market conditions look like it's turning lower next week, the odds of this breaking out may be very low. But if it's going to do it, it needs to happen like right now in the next few days. So this is a play that you may get a bounce in the Russell to play that bounce, but it's very risky given the rest of where the rest of the market is trading. But we have seen the Russell go higher while the rest of the market has taken. It's happened once in a while. So then Bitcoin has been the talk of the town, right? And then we had this little flash crash, which was just an easy flat pattern that played out. It reacted right where you would expect it. So this could be wave two, correcting that whole thing, and it was over before you know it. This is an example of why I said you can't be cute with Bitcoin. I'm going to trade in and out. I'm so smart. I can get in and get out. You're not going to be able to do that. The people that thought they could do that, this happened so fast you had no chance of buying that dip. You got to just hold the position. You're going to have to hold your position and just be patient and go trade something else. This is a wave 3, guys. This is a wave 3. This isn't a wave 5 in Bitcoin and crypto. You're in a wave 3. You have no business trading in and out of this right now. This is a grand super cycle wave 3 that should just continue to extend and baffle people. And the people that try to get cute, oh, I'm just going to get in and get out, they're going to lose. They're going to end up having to pay higher prices to get back in on the market. And then they'll be nervous. They're going to go back down again. So this was just a simple ABC correction here. It very well could have corrected this whole cycle in 5 minutes. And now we keep going. So we don't know for sure. I mean, again, it could still be in the correction mode until we break back above 104.294. Until then, there is a possibility for like a WXY type shakeout. But obviously the bid is there. The bid is in crypto right now because that will recover pretty quickly. I would expect more higher prices in crypto. Oil's starting to break down. This is the warning sign the market could about to have a catastrophe. Typically, when oil gives it up, the whole market follows suit. And when oil capitulates lower, we saw that in the COVID lows and many times it's very correlated. So that if this type of capitulation is about to happen in the energy market, so could the stock market. Now gold, I still want to see one more high. I think this is the last real good long trade left in the market. Is the precious metals, gold and silver potentially could play out in this like ABC pattern. If it's possible, it's actually a major low here, but we did break it, so it would be like a WXY, a real truncated move. But with gold higher, I believe silver would continue with it. So it makes sense to stay long silver until gold ends its major cycle here and see where silver ends up. Will silver end up around 33.5, 34? But silver could also, if silver can break 35, there's a chance it could really squeeze, and we could see a short squeeze kind of blow off top in the silver market to end the cycle, the major cycle, with gold and in its cycle at about 3,000. That's where I'm thinking. And given where gold and silver are, it could easily erase divergence and extend and go well beyond these levels. So these I like to be long these markets, the precious metal markets right now, and aggressive there. The dollar index looks like you have 3 waves. It could see more downside, but it should continue higher. And this 1 2 1, this could be a 1 2 3 4 5, 1 2 1 2. Now if it's just a 3-wave move, it could be still in a sideways consolidation pattern in here, in this like a WXY. Now that would, if that's the case, we'll get massive dollar weakness. It would actually come all the way back down to 98. Now if that happens, that would really pump international markets. That would pump China. That would pump Bitcoin. The precious metals will pump. It will create a dynamic in those trades. And China is oversold. So in the back of my mind, we still have to consider that that it's possible that this could happen where you have this price action here in this connector WXY connector here, something like that here, and this becomes like an A, B, C. So there is a possibility of this. So this is where, and then breaking the low like we did here also lends itself that it's more possible. So the way to play this would be long China, I think. Long China, long precious metals, long crypto is what this is saying. What's unusual would be oil going down in this type of situation. So it's not, it is, that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So could oil reverse? So that's why I don't, I keep an eye on oil, but I don't want to short it. But this could also delay the market from crashing, where it could be sideways to lower. We may get a lot of choppiness and maybe even make another high with a lot of divergence. And then when this dollar index finishes its cycle, if it does make it down here, then the market's ready to crash with all the commodities and Bitcoin hits a major peak. That would be that's kind of what I'm thinking, where the indices just trade sideways to lower with possibly one more high in this situation here. So that's something to think about. But if that doesn't happen, if we come back to where we were, then the market could be in this like 1-2, something like that. Something, I think that's the right way to label it. And then boom, market crash, bam, something like that. That's the other possibility. And unfortunately, we don't have a good clue other than it looks like it wants to go lower still. So it's leaning lower, which could support the precious metals and Bitcoin higher with China higher, and then that would trade the indices. The indices still sell off, but they won't sell off as dramatically as they could, so they'll just chop around sideways, like something like 1-2, 1-2, something like that, as it's topped out. That's what I'm thinking. All right, and the yen is another one we're watching. That also I mentioned, when the yen makes the end of its move is when we had that massive VIX spike. The end of the yen move would be somewhere in this area. So we're not quite there yet, but we are seeing pressure in yen strength, and that is negative for the market and risk assets. And if we're in this wave 2, it could still push higher, which could support the market more. But I believe when this wave 3 is born, there'll be a lot of downward pressure in the market. So this is another one. Now, could it have already peaked? If that's the case, yeah, then you could see yen strength, and then the markets really tank next week. This would be maybe more of a sideways market, and the market is maybe could make another high with some pullbacks, and then we tank later. But I believe this is the warning sign, that it's not good. There's danger. The 10-year has been pushing back in this ABC pattern. Looks like you have like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this 2 could be coming to an end very soon. This will shock traders because everyone expects it to just keep going all the way down. When a hot CPI will get the Fed talking again about raising rates, and this should take off if that happens. So maybe this is primed for that type of trade. Higher, and this cycle could end at any moment. Looking at the wave count, looking at this sequence ABC, so with a lot of bullish divergence representing the 5th wave. So it could don't be foolish to think rates is just going back to 0 anytime soon. It may be about to take a hard right turn higher here. And most people are not prepared for that. across all these the bond market. Okay, I think I covered everything. I'll go just into your questions real quick. If I have time, I'll jump into other stocks that I normally have look at and trade. Um, okay, Thomas, we'll start with yours. Celsius. Celsius is in a bottoming process. It's testing traders' patience, and a lot of traders are very impatient, and they just want it to go up right now. Just go up, damn it! And it's not doing it. So this is the count. It looks like we have an impulse off of this low, and now we're in some kind of consolidation. Now it could be already done here and about to hit a wave 3. Let's take a look. Yeah, so we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It could be in a 1, 2, 1, 2 setup. This could have been a great trade opportunity on Friday going long this for this breakout on wave 3. And you watch some news will emerge in the next 48 hours to just pump this thing. The other alternative is it's still in the correction, and 2, and the market will give you probably one more chance to buy it before it probably has to take off from it's stretched too technically, to the downside. So that would be 2678 here in this area. So either you've got a nice ABC and we get a little dip down into this area next week, or it's already finished, ready to launch. You didn't, so it doesn't look corrective to our side to me. So I would just say that it's a good chance it's already finished, and this is your count. And we're here. And this is the count here. And I don't have this labeled, but you get the idea. It's like, I think it's like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A, B, C. Right? You did something like this. You did something like this. And you have like this count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For 5. Okay, and then you would have expected it to find support right where it did, right there. Right here. For wave 5. And boom. So there you go. So that's it. So that's the count. We could see this inverse head and shoulders play out. And pull back. And out. HSI. Yeah, Hang Seng Index. So I mentioned this. This was my buy area. As you could see, we're already turning off of that a little premature, which is happens. Now you see how you have already broke the cycle on the 4-hour. You have capitulation with no divergence. So it's clear that this is the bottom in this 3-swing move. So we've completed 3 swings down in this move here. It's done. So we're in a new cycle higher. So the $1 million question is, are we going to come up to these levels here or not? And that's the dollar index question I was mentioning before. And, bigger picture, at some point China is going to have a catastrophe. At the time, we didn't know why, but now it's pretty clear why. There's going to be tariffs and their economy is going to tank, and then there could be a recession with everything else on top of it. That's what this is saying is coming. But is there another moon coming before that happens, where you have a 3-way move, another move higher here as Y extends, and you have a W X Y, and get a really this would be very euphoric pump if this happens. So right now the way to trade China is long China on buy dips as long as the HSI is above 19,000. That's what I would recommend. But if we break 19,000, then the path is clear that it's lower. This isn't valid anymore. And then we're looking at a much more deflationary scenario in China. and and it could, could come down to retest these lows, probably breaking them, shocking investors for the round trip that they went through. Because remember, these billionaires, they went on TV and they said to put your whole stack in, and this is a sure bet, and they were begging you to buy, right? I wonder if they were buying. Were they really buying? I guess we'll find out. I bet down here people are going to let invest. If we break this low and we don't rally, we come down, they're going to be investigating these guys that went on TV, because it just was really strange. I've never heard people go on TV saying to do, it's not really good financial advice from smart money to say put your whole stack in any sector. I mean, that's the dumbest thing I could ever heard. And when I heard that, I realized, oh, we need to short this shit. This is fundamental investor euphoria. That's what that is. Fundamental investor euphoria. Now we had technical investor euphoria in the market, at times, but that was fun. That's when fundamental investors just lose all sight of reality, and we're starting to even see that in the equity market too, a little bit with fundamental investors. But 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 here it is. So I would just trade it long against this level. So let's say we pull back. Maybe you could try a long position and have a tight stop, or buy like Alibaba or something. Play this bounce by playing Alibaba or PDD, and maybe the casino will reward you with this little surge, because man, this will be a great pump. And you buy some small cap China stocks, you know, there, and there's a bunch of them. I haven't been interested in long China in a while, so we haven't looked at them. But maybe Neo is a good one. you know. But it's clearly this cycle's over. China should be moving higher as long as we're above 19,000. And then this is in play. We'll see the dollar index break down, and then the market could trade sideways to higher. All the money goes into emerging markets and that type of thing again. All right, so we'll keep an eye on that. I guess the 45-minute actually looks like you have one cycle right here. So it looks like there's incomplete cycle to the upside. Like you're in a wave 3 that's just starting to come into existence. It almost matches the dollar index short-term cycle, right? On just where the dollar index broke lower. And this looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it looks like a 1. So you see that pullback? If we get this pullback down like that, so here's another, guys, a day trade opportunity on the long side. See, Elliott wave stage isn't always so short. I'm not always short. Everyone thinks I just trade short. I don't. So right here, if the Hang Seng could pull back like this down into this area, it may be a good idea to pick up some long China plays and see if you get that wave 3 of a Y wave, which could be extraordinary gains in a very short amount of time if that happens. That's what I'm saying. So that could happen, and then the pump continues. The billionaires are like, see, I told you, and then, oh shit, catastrophe later. And this is probably the market sell-off. The whole world markets have a catastrophe of some situation happens that nobody knows about yet, because if we did, it would already be happening. So we'll wait and see, but it looks like we've got more upside here in this cycle. So yeah, China should be going higher, and this should also be telling you then, if China looks like this, a little bit more upside, like I said, the stock market, yeah, it may pull back next week, but then it could come back up and make more divergences. You may even break these highs again and extend with more divergence, or make a lower high as China comes back up. It maybe peaks out, because all we need is 3 waves up. So there is no guarantee it's going to just go to the moon, but we could get up to 24 here, 20,400, and then it can continue lower after you made the 3 swing move. But this looks incomplete. This is an incomplete to me. So that's how I look at China. So YNN, go coincidentally, next question. There's been 180 million in call buy-in, expecting a huge. Does the chart show a pump? I think you just heard what I said. Yeah, the chart shows a very short-term pump right here. And if you're lucky enough, you get this pump where Y extends, and then you finish off up at 28,000. And that's a great pump. That's a great pump. So, and we know we have confirmation of cycle reversal. So this cycle's over. So we are in an uptrend. So there's very little risk and high reward. Now there's a little bit of reward, but it could be this reward, but the risk is so little, and that's what you're seeing in the call buy-in. I mean, why would you not want to buy it, right? I mean, there's very little risk here, right? It's out. So it's in an uptrend. And it should continue higher, at least to this level. So yeah, there you go. GME, we've always said our mantra on GME is trust the chart. We don't try to guess the news on GME. We don't try to outthink it, or try to play poker with the whales like they're doing. We just trade the chart that we see, and that's the only edge we have, and it hasn't let us down yet, right? Because the chart has told us not to sell it. It's told us where we are. It's a roadmap. It's a roadmap. And here's the roadmap, guys. Right now, the roadmap is saying the cycle is coming to an end here. We're in 5. But the party's just beginning because this is just the first impulse. So what's going to happen? So I believe this wave 4 is over here. This wave 4 is over. Now, if you look here on this wave 2, this is the 2 it's paired against. You had a big move and then a big drop, but like 3 big swings on the 4-hour chart. Here you only have 2, so maybe the 4 could take another dip down. But I'd like to buy that. And that would be a gift. The market would be giving you like a Christmas gift if this happens, because the market usually leaves traders behind. And that would be the Christmas gift, and GameStop would be $25. Dip buy here. A $25 dip buy for wave 4. Because wave 5s in GME and the meme coins usually always end in a short squeeze with vertical action. So they usually end with a bang, right? So personally, I think 4 is already in, and we're in 5. Now the other thing is 5 can extend. This could become a 1-2, 1-2, and then it's it, $50. But it's a 4 to me. It's a 4. It's a 4 because you're still in the cycle, right? You're only correcting really this leg of it. So it's a 4. And you're going to create some bearish divergence more than likely. And then there'll be a big pullback when this is done. Whenever this 5 finishes. Because then you got another 1, and a 2. And this 2 will melt all the way down. And hell, it may go all the way back down to here again. And just may keep doing that for a while. So that's GME. So the trade in GME is if it wants to dip to 25, you can take a chance in it. To play the wave 5, it's almost not fair because you'll get all the easy money. And you didn't have to wait. Like most of the people here have been waiting, biting their nails. Now, but like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if it's done and it's just going to keep going, and then at some point ends around $40. And if you're lucky, it short squeezes and it goes to the moon. And but if you follow me, we've traded this perfectly, guys. We've traded this perfectly. Again, people new to follow me. We had to dip buy here. We had a dip buy here. I don't have the box anymore, but we had to sell here. We've traded this perfect. The chart has been working out like magic. Trust the chart. So this is what the chart says, and the chart does say the peak. There's going to be a peak here, and there's going to be a really big pullback that's going to take a long time because this took a long time. I'll have to correct this whole cycle. So that's what this is saying, and then I'll just draw it like that, and we'll leave it there. But that's probably where we are. And if you're lucky, it moons, and then this doesn't happen. So good luck, Chris. Let's go to Palantir. Yeah, Palantir against blow off top. How high it can, again, we could trust the chart, look at the Elliott waves, but you never want to guess a top. You want to wait for the confirmation and then short the counter trend rally to dead cat bounce. And we don't have the confirmation, right? Because again, it's a fundamental investor euphoria, even technical investor euphoria on that. So let's take a look at it. So as you can see, we erased divergence. You had a lot of divergence erased. Now, when that happens, the market extends higher. And this is why Elliott waves is not always a perfect predictor of tops, which is why you can't try to short fifth waves. You can't top pick fifth waves and short them. You have to try. So the trend is always higher. So you buy the dip in 3 until you get the confirmation of the reversal. We never really got that with Palantir. So how high can it go? I mean, honestly, it's just use your imagination. I mean, it could go. Let's look at the market cap. It's already 173 billion. Why not 1 trillion? Why not? What the hell? Why not? I mean, that's Apple, right? They're talking like it's the next Nvidia. So why not say 1 trillion? So that's $500. I mean, at some point that's what it is. So we have a 1-2. We're in wave 3. Here we had and this is what fooled a lot of traders. It was this impulse here ended up being another 1-2, right? 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 1 2 3 4 5, right? And that became another 1-2, right? But since it erased divergence, see, it just kept extending, and traders are confused. And it's 3 of 3. So let's look at the shorter cycles and see where we are with it. And we erase divergence. So my guess is this impulse should be coming to an end for this 3. As you can see, it's got a lot more 4s and 5s. So I would be buying the dip and looking for wave 4. So this is the next area to come back to buy. I'll just shade it. At some point, there'll be a dip back down to here, and that'll be an opportunity to go long Palantir at the moment until the cycles play out more. And see, it's still extending. It's still extending. One, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This 3 is close to finishing. Yeah, it just keeps extending. It's almost not fair. Why? People stop buying it. Why are people? So it's because they're afraid of missing out. They're afraid of missing out, is what they're afraid of, and that's what we're looking at. And it should just continue. So these dips, these 4s will emerge. And you'll want to buy those after a 3-wave move now. you'll want to buy those. But there you go. Yeah, so it's just in this it's a sign of the times we're in. And yeah, investors just can't. They're just oblivious to um, to the risk they're taking here. Now, once this fifth wave is in, right? Because so we're correcting this whole move. Once we correct this whole move, right? We'll have this whole move. I think when we get to this wave three, this wave three, this wave four will be the big pull, the one that shocks everybody. It'll be the bear market, a multi-year bear market. But for right now, it's a buy to dip now. It's clear the path is higher, and investors will regret not buying it. So as soon as it comes back down, they're going to want to go long. So this will be an easy trade to go long when we get a pullback at some point. There's no more weekly divergence. Divergence is erased. I know the problem is the problem is Elliott waves cannot predict extensions. It's a flaw in the strategy. That's why the Elliott wave theory isn't like sacred document. It's not like the end all be all to trade in. It's a tool that you use, but you have to use other tools. And if you just blindly use the Elliott wave trying to short a fifth wave, you almost will always lose because wave threes by nature extend, and they could continue to extend way beyond your imagination. And Palantir is a great example of that. Way beyond where it should be fundamentally, you know, price to earn and price to sales. It's way beyond, but it doesn't matter because investors are just in FOMO mode right now. But it's institution FOMO. It's sovereign fund FOMO. It's that kind of FOMO, and you can't compete with that, right? And that's going to drive. That's what's driving this market cap up to the hundreds, and maybe even $1 trillion. Is FOMO? Is just FOMO? You can't lose bet. Um, but yeah, a lot of acceleration. A lot of acceleration. You know, the sad thing is we were trading it, and we actually had the buy area here at $8, $9. We did have that on my channel. Everyone that followed me went long around $9 on Palantir, but obviously I got out way too early. I think I got out around $20. I mean, I had no idea. Like, and that's the thing. You just don't know. Is it going to just keep doing that? We just didn't know. But it's the way the market works. You just sometimes don't know. But like anything, there'll be pullbacks, and there's always another opportunity, and you just move on to find another day. All right, Alex, AMC and Novax. So AMC mirrors GME. I've always say, you know, trust the chart. We trust the chart, right? And you just trade the chart and try to ignore everything else. Now, we called these lows on my channel here. And we've just been staying long, and now you're starting to get that breakout. But as you know, GMEs could be hitting a fifth wave, so this is probably too aggressive of a count. So I'm thinking, well, what I'm thinking here, again, just looking at it like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something like that. And we'll go to the daily. You see, it's still so conservatively. I'll put a 3 there and a 4 there and a 5. So this mirrors GME's chart, okay? So that mirrors GME's chart. So we'll just go with that. But it could easily be, and we just talked about extensions in Elliott waves. 1, 2. To the moon, and this found support right where you wanted it, between the 4 and the 2 on Friday. So we don't know which one it is, so I always like to just be a little more conservative. But basically the strategy is, as long as you're above $4 is bullish. The bulls are in control, and you have to be patient and let the chart play out. But if we break back below $4, then it's in a lot of trouble. It's in a lot of trouble. But until then, just we'll kind of leave it that way and see where we go with it. Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to see one more hot push higher. And then there should be another big pullback. Like I said, it should be a really big pullback that may go all the way back down to this area here, 425. So this may be what we're faced with soon, something like that. So I'm just showing you an idea, but it can easily be a 1-2-1-2, and there'll be a lot of fireworks next week with these meme coins. And that could end a major cycle in the market, right? To timing wise. So I think it's 50-50. Whether you get this right now or you get a 1-2-1-2, and next week is meme stock mania. So good luck with AMC, guys. And then Novak's. So that sector bet was getting hit because of the Kennedy appointment, right? But now I think it's starting to recover from that news. So we have been short this, not FOMOing in. So as you can see, you only have 3 and a connector. As long as you're below this line, you're still in the downtrend. And if you look at this leg, you see how it had a big bounce and a failure. You're getting that bounce now, and you really need one more low. I really want to see this gap close. So again, I'm still looking for another swing down to emerge. But again, it could truncate. It may not fill the gap, but I don't like to buy it here still. I still waiting for one more impulse lower and see. And it was pretty much a complete round trip, right? A complete round trip, which is what we had predicted, as I've been given updates on this, would happen. Then if it could stay supported and come out of the correction without breaking this low, then it will see a magnificent wave 3. A great opportunity to make some really good money. But if it breaks down like this and breaks the low, then the bull case is dead. And this could become like a go to zero type company, which doesn't make sense fundamentally right now, given its partnership I think it had with one of the big pharma companies. But this is how I would label it right now. So if we take a look too, you see how that's pretty big capitulation there. You see that? We do need to keep an eye on it. So like I said, as long as you're below the downtrend, now let's say you trade above it, then I would, if we could trade higher, if we could trade up to above $10, then I would call the low in. And then the downtrend's over, because look at that capitulation there. And then this was just a tight bounce, a tight B. We had a big B. This was just a literal tight bounce and shallow. So we'll keep an eye on it. I personally think it needs another leg lower, and I wouldn't buy it here. If we break out, then it's safe to buy the dips again, and you could probably call that the low. If you don't be surprised you get rejected and you come back down to this $4 area, and then break out later. So we'll have to wait and see how this plays out. But you do have, that's a typical capitulation of a low. So maybe I'm leaning toward maybe it has truncated, but we don't have confirmation yet. We're close, but close isn't good enough. Let's take a look here. Yeah, you see you're just breaking out. So maybe next week you could get a little bit more upside, and then you know the downtrend's over, and boom. And now you can ride this wave 3. So there you go. There you go with that. Next question, BCHG. So BCHG is another one. We've just been trusting the chart, and the chart has not let us down. And I've given my target of $30, which seemed, not unthinkable. But now with Bitcoin trading where it is, a lot of people now probably believe in that target. So again, you need to stay long. Don't be cute trading in and out of this stuff, guys. I'm telling you, dude. Don't ask me. You really shouldn't be asking me. My only advice to say in these cryptos is stay long. Don't worry about getting in and out because you're gonna miss these big. They got some big moves coming. We have some big moves coming to the upside, and the chances are you're gonna miss it because you're gonna try to get cute and get out of the market and miss it. So this could be on the verge of a big three breakout to the upside. Taking out $11 will do it. And don't say you didn't have time to buy it. I told you guys to buy it here and here and here. God knows how many updates I've given on this stock. All the way down through the downtrend. I mean, damn, we traded this thing. Even back here, we were buying it. Look, guys, we had to buy down here at $1. So, again, my channel, we trade. Again, Elliott Wave Sage isn't just bearish all the time. We buy things. We buy things. So my target still is $30 on BCHG. And it's pretty clear to me the path is higher. The path is higher. And I would just hold on tight. Hold on tight. And go trade another sector. And just let this play out. Let this play out. Go trade another, go buy something else. Go play with something else. This should just be in your piggy bank, in your vault, and you don't open it for another, 8 to 10 months, and we'll see where we're at. Because it's gonna be a little bit crazy. It's gonna scare people in and out. Like it's gonna do some like what just happened here, and then came all the way back. Whole shit. It's gonna do a lot of that as we climb. All right. Next question. MOWI. Not familiar with that. MOWI. Okay, it looks like we've looked at this at one point. Did we lose our chart? Looks like we must have lost our chart on this. So a chart like this, we're building off of a low here, off of this low. And if you look, we'll have to go to the monthly chart. You have a wave 3 peak here. You have a lot of divergence, and you have a low. So this is probably the cycle bottom of this whole move. 1, 2, something like that, or 1, 2. We could try to label it here from this peak, from that point on. It's like a 1, 2. Pretty classic Elliott wave, right? There's your 4. You found support at your 4, and now you're coming out. So this cycle ended here. Now we're in a correction. This leg is obviously over, but is at the low. Pretty good capitulation on the monthly. I would have liked to see it go lower, but could it go lower? It could still go lower, right? It could take another swing lower. You're still in the correction. You see that? You're still in the correction here. So my thinking is it's dangerous to be playing around in this right now because it could take another leg lower. It could be an ABC like that. It's 50-50. You should see some more upside, but there could be a C here. This would be a crash correction straight down. It could be a 1, 2, 1, 2 and up. So there's still upside. So the way to play this is trade it higher off of this low, probably right here, off of this low right here, and just trade it higher. And this will either turn into a B wave short squeeze that will abruptly end and come back hard, and then you'll get a little bit of profit, or you get lucky and it's a wave 3 breakout, and then you got a good entry. Because it could be a 1, 2. See, this only looks like 3 waves to me. So yeah, I'd be really careful. Chasing this. I'm like I'm sorry, going higher. I'd be careful. Like Y should go high. It should push higher, but it wouldn't surprise me to see it drop on the whole nother leg when Y is finished, and that'd be 248. So see, it could go. It got more upside. It could have more upside here, and then who knows? Then anybody's guess. It either is gonna. Yeah, it's either gonna. Yeah, it's either gonna tank or it's gonna rise. Or it's gonna moon. There'll be some decision made by the market somewhere in this area. And right now, my bet is this based on the way this wave looks right here and this wave. But we'll have to wait and see what happens. Gold has one more high, one more high, I believe. And if we're lucky, it does a Palantir and it extends, erases divergence, and it goes to the moon. Uh, so I have it as we need one more high. There was an easy dip by here, and now I have it as like this 1 2 1 2 1 2. So gold could be the trade next week. Gold. Now the setup could be lost. Right now it's a high reward, low risk long play. Like you could put your stop at 2611 or even 2600 and try to play this upside. The upside could take you, a wave 5 could take you to close to 3,000 an ounce, 29,000 an ounce, 2,900 an ounce, and then a massive pullback. Or if it erases divergence, this was a 1 2, 1 2, 1 2, moon, precious metals moon. So we don't know exactly, but I definitely do not recommend selling metals. I don't recommend shorting metals. I only recommend buying the dips, and this is a good dip from the high. These are opportunities. The gold miners, I think, are good long opportunities that could emerge, and we won't, and we'll stay there. Now, if it does break down and we get another swing lower, the next area to buy it would be at 24.68. And wave 4 just double corrects. So, but either way, I still believe there's more upside in the major cycle, and I don't think there's a big catastrophe in the precious metals market yet to happen until this cycle is finished, and then we have to be very careful with precious metals unless the divergence is erased, and then the people will be not in the trade, and there'll be FOMO, and there'll be a short squeeze. And then we'll start using our imagination to see how high prices can go in the precious metals sector. I mean, if China's going to pump, this would pump with it, right? Because if China's pumping, that implies some kind of stimulus, which is inflationary, which is, they use a lot of natural resources, which is weak dollar. All that is rocket fuel for the precious metals sector. If all those things, and so maybe that's the trade coming up here. But this is what I like right now. So I just like to kind of stay long the metals. All right, anonymous, sure. Let's go into your questions. Hopefully you're doing good in crypto. Bitcoin. Yeah, we can look at Bitcoin a little closer than I did earlier. So again, I have it as a 1 2 1 2 setup. It's a very aggressive setup for now, but it's a typical wave 3 count. The reason is if you look at this daily cycle here, we haven't even ended. In fact, this may be not even aggressive enough. It could actually be a 1 2 1 2 1 2 even. So we're just gonna stay like with this right now. This is the count I'll go with for now, and we'll just play it by ear. Now there is this bearish divergence here at this peak, which is why we got this wave 2, right? The bearish divergence played out between the 3 and 5 here, and we got this peak right here. So we are in 2. So the question is if this continues lower, well, this too will continue lower, And ultimately, as long as it stays above this peak, it's a 1-2-1-2 setup, in my opinion, still. And I would just leave it as this is the count for now. Now, if we can keep pushing higher, let's say we wake up Monday or and it's 105, 110. If we're trading 110 and we still have bearish divergence, then I would relabel this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we'll pull back down to 90,000. And this will be the new floor in the market because you have a wave 4 cluster here. You would have a wave 4 cluster. But for right now, I'm going to go with this count because this is what the data shows. And what you could see is a big push higher out to 110, 115. Boom. And you erase divergence. And the traders are left behind in a wave 3 breakout. And people are dumbfounded and they don't understand. They don't understand what's going on. Well, a lot of investors got too cute trying to top ticket, get in and out. But you can't. You're in a cycle degree, in a super cycle, in a grand super cycle, wave 3 potentially. And if that's the case, you just can't risk trading in and out of this market with the crypto market at this point. And so I don't recommend selling. I only recommend buying dips, and that's what the computers did. But you weren't fast enough to get that unless you already had your order in, your market order in here. So we're with the next. Let's say what if it flash crashes again? If it flash crashes again, I'll show you where you can put your market buy order, and you can have it sitting on your exchange right now. You put it at like $85,000. If it wants to flash crash again, this will be the next area where it would dip down to potentially. But there's no guarantee that will happen. It's probably not likely to see that happen twice. But I'll leave it there for now. And but I do believe we're pulling out of this. And that's Bitcoin. And remember, I said earlier, I believe we're in a 1-2-1-2. Some traders believe we're in a 1-2-3-4-5. But let's look at the weekly divergence and see there is still that possibility, right? So you see that weekly divergence. So there is a chance I am too bullish on crypto here, where this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. But by recovering that high like we did here, breaking this high right here. So when we pulled back here and we came up in 3 in that flat, it sets up a sequence where we should see a whole nother leg higher. If this leg didn't happen, then the bear case, the weekly bear case, is I think much more possible. But with that flat now, I think that weekly bear case is not as likely. Even though, yeah, technically you still have the divergence. I think that tells me I don't want to be worried about that right now. I don't want to be worried about that playing out. I believe this is the count. And you just have to go do what's best for you. But I don't think this is a 3-4-5. And I believe the next move higher will erase divergence on the weekly time frame. So that could tell you that look at the size of the move that could happen that will take the weekly from here to here. And once you do that, that type of price action, I believe, will happen. And then it's probably like, all right, let's take some profits, see where we're at by that point, and go from there. But right now, I think this is the count I'll go with until the market gives us more information to say otherwise. And then Bitcoin Cash, BCH. So I have it just like Bitcoin, a fifth wave. Now I pulled back. So the fifth wave could be over. It could be in a flat itself right now that hasn't finished. So Bitcoin Cash could also be in something like this and get a flash crash back down to 500. Or it's still extending in wave 5. Or it's a 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, and it's about to moon. But either way, we have a lot of divergences here. So I got to label it this way for now. I don't know if the cycle's over. It could easily extend in 5 still, though. You see the peak in the 45. So if you look at this wave 5, the peak RSI is in the wave 1. That's unusual. It should be in the wave 3. It isn't. So what that tells me, and you see how this peak almost took out that peak, what it's telling me is wave 5 is extended. So I would predict an extension in 5, and I believe we're about to see a wave 3 of 5 come be born, and then that should do something like that. And when that happens, if we can erase the 4-hour divergence here, then this became a 1-2. And then it's just going to keep going. It'll go over $1,000 easy. So again, I don't like selling it. I don't like trading in and out of it or being cute about it. Just buy the dips. Now this does show me 3 here, so that's why we got to be careful. We're still not in 2. I just don't think it's likely to me that this is 5. If we did flash crash back down to 480, this area, that's okay because we broke the high. It'd be a flat, and you'll want to absolutely buy that, and then it'll be a big push higher. So I think this is where we are right now with it. In this like 1-2 setup, we're still in wave 5, pushing higher. And then Litecoin, looks like to me we had this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 3. And then we have a 1, 2, again, 3 up. We only have 3 up, so we're in this 5th wave. We're still in that 5th wave within 3. Let's take a look. Now see, that is a wave 3 peak. We pulled back. That's too short to be a 3. It can't be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's look at the 45-minute. Just let's make sure. 1, 2, ABC, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at this. It looks like to me, I'm going to go with something like this. Go with something like that for now. And if that's the case, we should see some more upside coming. What would be unusual would be is if this is 1, 2, and then yeah, it would have to be what it could be is if it could be a 1, 2. I'm trying to think if this could be a really big lead in diagonal coming out. Yeah, I don't think it is. I think this is it. I gotta go with this. I can't really think of much other alternatives given the data right now, but so that's what I'd be looking for. Something like that, and then hopefully then it goes vertical. But something like that is what I'm thinking. And then Litecoin Solana. Solana in so Solana, I have it in this 5th wave here. Looks like you made that 3-wave move. You're coming out of 5. So I'll be looking for like a 5th wave here. Looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a 1. So it looks like we're in wave 2 here of 5. This could also double correct down, back down to 224. So there could be a dip buy here in Solana this weekend at 225. with a stop at 214. Real low risk, high reward trade here. If it does that, if it does that dip, there's no guarantee. It may already be over here, and then we'll want to see that push higher in wave 5. And of course, it could always extend, erase divergence, etc., but it should continue higher. Intel broke below 23. So yeah, the CEO got canned or something, I heard, and that they used that news to drive the price lower, which is fine. But we knew ultimately. So we were looking for this bear flag to finish, and it didn't work out that way. It just did a 3-wave move. So it took out so what this ended up being was a 5-wave move down. So we're going to just have to change the corrective structure around a little bit, but the destination is still the same, this area. It's just it was a different corrective structure. It wasn't in 3 waves like we had. It's moving in 5 waves down in an ABC pattern. So we'll just have to tweak our count. But ultimately, it was lower. And of course, you have the bear flag breakdown, a classic bear flag breakdown here. So to me, it looks like you have a 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have to label it in a 5-wave move down like this, and then this was so kind of like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then this was just a 3-wave move, counter trend move higher, down, and now we need 5 waves down. So so we'll be looking for more downside as this impulse plays out. So more downside. Yeah, we just had the wrong corrective structure. Again, that's always the danger of trading against the trend, counter trend rally. Will it be back here? I do think at some point this will be supported. I don't think the government will let it go to 0, but I believe at some point it will. Its fortunes will reverse. But right now isn't that time to do that. Again, just trying to see the different price action here. So anyway, that's what we're Intel. So ultimately, Intel should hit $14, $12 somewhere around there, and then hopefully finds support. INDO will continue lower as long as oil's under pressure. I did mention, though, there is this concern that emerging markets are going to get a bid, the dollar is going to get weak, China's going to go higher, the precious metals will rise, and if all that happens, I have to think oil will go higher, and my forecast in oil will not happen, or it will truncate. It will have a massive truncation. So I do believe, you know, we're seeing a couple things going on, and again, we could trust the chart on INDO. So oil is breaking down. We have not broken 65. We could be in the middle of this the breakdown, but when this is over, and when we break, if we could break 65 and erase divergence, even if it's at 64, the oil correction could be over. It doesn't have to come all the way down to the low 50s like I have. We could truncate. We could truncate here. So if that's the case, then INDO should be at a bottom very, very soon, if not now, which means the emerging markets, China, commodities, all that shit's about to really take off. So, and the energy sector, again, is about to take off. Now, I think there's more downside. So if there's more downside here, I think there's more downside in INDO until this is playing out, because that's how it's trading right now. It used to not trade like that, but it is now. It is now. It used to not trade like that until, ironically, I started talking about it. But anyway, looks like you have 3 down, 1, 2, and you're in this wave 3 here, or what's this called? An impulse for now, because that's the way it looks. So we're in this 5th wave down. You have a 1, 2, right? And then you have another 1, 2, right? And now you're in wave 3, almost like the oil, right? What oil is 3, 4, 5. So more downside. I think you break this low at 268, and you end the correction somewhere down here, somewhere down in this area here, and then hopefully oil finds a bid, and this can go to then it could take off with oil. Uh, that's what I'm thinking. We we're still in the correction. We're still in this correction, but we want to keep an eye on it because you are in a fifth wave. You have bullish divergence. You see, every time you have a four, you're turning up, right? So there's always this chance of breaking out early. So we keep an eye on it because if we do break out early, then the two is here, and it was actually a 1-2-1-2 setup because it's only in three. It'll be a very big bullish move. So again, I don't like selling it. I don't want to be cute. Oh, I'm just going to get in and out in time. Like this is one you got to just tuck away in your piggy bank and know that at some point you're going to wake up one day very, very happy. But right now, you're going to have to just be patient because this can break out early because it used to not trade with the price of oil. It used to trade actually counter trend to the market. When the market tanked, this used to go up for whatever reason. And God knows why, but it did. It was almost like buying a put on the market, but then that behavior stopped, ironically, after I started covering it uh, more openly here. Now all of a sudden it trades with oil. That's what I've been seeing recently. So we just go with that. But then again, if the market tanks, maybe it will go back to its true nature. And even if oil's going down, it'll just keep going up anyway. So we'll have to wait and see how it plays out. But I just like I said, we trade the chart. The chart shows one more low. The chart shows one more low. But but we expected this back here, right? I was telling people to expect this. And here we are. This is a sign of what will happen, though. When we got this move, this was great, right? Well, we'll be doing that again. That's coming in the future, God. This type of move is going to happen again. It's just not right now. It's shaking out the weekends. Okay, Anonymous, back to you again. GSOL. Yeah, GSOL is still in the area of accumulation. Again, I always say, like with these grayscale products, the mom and pop 401k investor, the IRA owner, the dumb money, they look at this and go, oh my God, I can buy Solana for $158 a coin. Holy shit, what a good deal. And they buy it. But no, dude, it's not $158 a coin. You're only getting like 0.08 of a coin. You're not getting a full coin if you actually read. And that's the markup. That's what I call the markup. The markup on these, it's over net. It's trading over net asset value. And so that's why these can go down while the coin goes up. But it's still in the count. The count is still good as long as we hold $90. And I would just kind of hang out here for now. I really like this look. Look at this. It's a classic three-wave move. I really like it. I really like this. I just don't want to sell it. I would just, again, be patient. Be patient. Let the chart, we trust the chart. We've always trusted, this is another one. When I say trust the chart, this is what we're doing. It makes no sense. It looks like it wants to just keep going to zero, but we have to trust this chart. And if we trust the chart, we may get rewarded really nicely in the future. And check divergence. All right, well, I'll check it for you. I mean, obviously, that's capitulation, right? I mean, look at that. The daily, I mean, you can't get more capitulation than that. So this is a massive low, more than likely. Now you're building off of that. So on the 45-minute cycle, let's take a look at that and see where we are. So you have this bullish divergence here in this area. I don't like that particularly. I mean, I don't care for it. Let's look at the 4-hour. And even the 4-hour has a lot. So we have to also be careful that it doesn't do something like this on the shorter cycle, where it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, an ABC correction of some kind. Or actually, I do it as a WXY. Yeah, see how that bounced there? So we'll do it as a WXY correction. And we're going down. So my guess, again, one, two, three, connector, one, two, one more leg lower. So if you're trying to be really cute with it, I mean, I guess you could try to wait and get one more little wick down to 120, put a market order, a limit order in at 120 and see if you get lucky. I mean, that's the play. And then you can erase that divergence, right? Like that. So the divergence tells me this is the count. That's what the divergence tells me. As long as we're below that trend line, we're still in the correction. That's the count. So yeah, maybe you can get it at 120. You know, hell, I may after this call just put in a limit order at 120 and see if I get filled, and just keep you guys updated. Because I mean that's a great risk reward for me for this type of this instrument. And then we have to be getting close to net asset value. I have to look up what the NAV is on GSOL. Let me see if I can figure that out real quick for you guys on the call here. So let's see GSOL, grayscale, and see how much grayscale you get. How much grayscale gives you for this thing. So they're giving you in GSOL 0.37 Solana per share. So you have to buy here you have to buy like essentially 2.7 shares, so 2.7 at 158. So it's trading at $426 Solana. And what was Solana at? What's Solana trading at here? So Solana's trading at 238. So it's got a 2-time premium in it. It's about 79% premium. So this is 79% premium. You're paying 79% more for a Solana than you would if you went on the open market. But at 120, right? At 120, it'd be different, right? That would be 324 a Solana, and let's say the price stays the same, or my God, maybe it goes up even. But let's just say it stays where it is now. Then that will give you NAV of 36%, and then for an altcoin grayscale product, 36% is really good. You're not going to get anything. That's like an amazing, like there's no premium in it really. So that is probably a good area. That's a good area. And then I guess where's the price if it was at 238? It'd have to trade at $88. So if it dips down back down to the $90 area here, $88, then you're getting 1-for-1. Then the grayscale product is essentially like buying Solana on the open market without the premium. So we'll have to just wait and see how it plays out. But that's what I'm thinking right now with Solana. Light LTCN. The same goes for all these products. You got to just stay long and go trade something else. Let these cycles play out. Where is our target for LTCN? $60. And yep, we had to buy right around here, and we've had to buy multiple times. And this is trading at a big premium, really crazy premium. And again, I think what's happening is it's the mom and pop 401k dumb money. They're like, oh my God, I could buy Litecoin for $22. Let's do it. It's trading at, and they just don't understand the product they're buying, so they buy it. So they're just I know it's kind of like silly, but that's what I think's happening because there's no, like, why would you pay? Because this is like trading at like Litecoins at like what, like close to like $300 a Litecoin here or something. You can look at it yourself, like, but basically there's your count here. So this could take another dip lower because it has so much premium in it. Next I'll give a dip buy, another dip buy opportunity at 1916, 1829, right around here. That'd be the area right around there. if we can get that dip buy right there. But it may already be over. We don't know. Hut is yeah, we knew it would keep going, right? And why? Let's take a look. 1, 2, 3. There's your WX. So you're now in Y. But you see how that's too short. So that's probably just a smaller degree. Yeah, it's just going to keep going. I want to see it up at 44, 48, somewhere there. But because of this pattern, there's no way to get a target. You just have to, at some point, just figure like you made enough money and just get out of it, especially when it goes vertical. We can try to look at the fractals to see if there's give us any clues as to how these cycles end. Yeah, see how it goes vertical? We want to look for that. That's how this cycle should end. It should end like with that kind of price action, like real vertical, and you don't really have that yet. And again, on my channel, guys, we had to buy literally at the cycle low. 6, 6. Now it's trading at $30. Pretty cool. Pretty cool how this all works. But like all good things, it will come to an end. So if you're getting in now, just know you're getting in at the last bit of this major cycle. And when it ends, it'll have a major pullback. That'll take a long time to come out of. It won't really be tradable anymore. MicroStrategy, yeah, I think it will suppress. Yes, I think it will. All right, and then MicroStrategy, he is, I'm looking for that next leg lower. Since we have this connector below 445, I would be looking for a dip back down. Right, ironically, it goes right to the trend line at 244. So that's what I'm looking for in MicroStrategy, but we're in a connector. It could still chop around for a long time. But eventually I want to see this leg play out, and then I want to buy that. I don't want to play in the chop area. It's just chop area. This is only 3 waves. It's not 5 off the low. So to me it looks corrective, but it could still chop around. It could still chop around. All right, let's go to KO, Coca-Cola. Let me see here, Coca-Cola. I'm surprised I don't have that labeled. I guess nobody asks me about Coke. Coke, you see all that divergence? That's a lot of divergence. So you have one cycle here back in the when the company existed. Then you have another cycle, right? And then you have another cycle, and another one, and another one. So where are we in this situation? Where are we? Look at this RSI too. A huge move is coming. You can't deny that. A massive move is coming in Coca-Cola. The question is, are we trading in a massive extended wave fifth, right? That really has been going on since 2004. Now this is the view that the markets are going to go back to the 2009 lows, right? If this chart is if it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, if it's that, and then Coca-Cola is going to do something like this and go all the way back, then we have a calamity on our hands. But the RSI shows that is possible. You can't ignore it. You can't ignore that possibility, right? But the decision point is coming soon, I think. And we're on the bottom end of the trend line, which isn't bad for the breakdown. We're not at the top. So I'm just gonna trade what I see in front of me, and then what it means in the bigger picture, we'll have to think about that another day. We'll think about what this means another day. But until we get some acceleration higher and erase the divergence, you have to label it this way. You just can't do it any other way. And again, I don't know what this means for the world economy, right? Because if Coca-Cola is going to tank like this, unless there's some company specific calamity, like they lose their recipe to Coke or some shit like that or something. I mean, I don't know what could cause this this to happen. I don't know what could cause this to happen. It actually has one more high. So it should make one more high. Because it's only three up. Now, what if it doesn't and it just drops? Well, then the bulls are going to set a bear trap because then then we have five here, and this would be an A, a B, a C, and it will correct the grand supercycle and find support at 40, which is probably more plausible. So why don't we label it that way? Because the other way is like would be like a world catastrophe, right? That would be like a catastrophe. This is probably more probable. Something like that for one, something like that. Like a sideways grand supercycle correction. But it'll be sharp because they'll have to take out those divergences. It'll be sharp, but it won't be like all the way down. It'll probably, come down somewhere around in the 40s, 45, maybe even, you know, 42, possibly something like that. So I think that's what I'm thinking. Something like this. Now, if we do make one more high, then the massive top is in play, and then you could end. Then it could become something much more devastating, unless you could raise divergence, which is possible. It is possible, but I do think, yeah, I do think, and I again, the 1-2 is somewhere here, I think. So good luck on Coke. Yeah, I think Coke's got some headwinds coming. Some headwinds. The his, like a historic trend line right there, something like that. So that puts you at 42. That's where I'd like it right there. I mean, it was only trading there back in August, like August 20, so that would be the COVID time. We'll see if this happens or not. Okay, good luck on that. Well, as we know, we just trade the chart we're given. Where I think would happen, again, we don't correlate these instruments in grayscale to the price of the coin ever because they trade at a premium or they could trade below premium. You have to just trade the chart, but we aren't dumb enough to think that it will go up while Bitcoin goes down. So if this goes down, this would be a flat. So if Bitcoin drops, then I'd be looking for a flat correction on this pattern and drop back to 725, 660. And what a gift that would be for the market to give you. It would do something like that. So if the Bitcoin were to do that drop, that's just where it would drop to somewhere around this area, and this would become a flat. And I guess technically you still have that until you take this peak back out. It's about to do that, but we'll have to see some downside pretty soon in the crypto space and see that dump in the crypto market. It'd have to do something like this, right? That would be what would happen if Bitcoin dropped, like you said there. Um, let's keep going. MIGI had a black swan event. Yeah, I saw that it crashed. Now, the thing I'll say about MIGI, let's just go back to the beginning with MIGI. We always knew that we were in this wave two, right? We knew we were just playing around trading wave twos. Now, the dump came and it took out everything, right? It took out everything. So it really screwed up the bull case. Now we made one more high here. So let's take a look here. So let's erase some of these so I can see the chart better and see what may be going on. So it looks like you had three. So we had a clue, I guess, with this low breaking right here. It definitely was not. It was definitely not a clear instrument to trade. Looking at all the sideways chop, looking back at it, it was just a connector wave we were in. W, X, Y. So we're still in the correction mode of this connector wave. So what happened? So what I 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So A, B, C. So yeah, it would have to be A, B, C. Let me see here. All right, so A, just looking at it here. So W. So that's one side. So we had it right. This yeah it's a connector wave scenario. And then this was yeah, I think it's I so you know the crazy thing is I think it's going to rally and come out of this news. I think whatever news that was, so I think it's going to do something like this. The connector wave really shook people up, I'm sure. But clearly the path is lower. I don't. If you're asking what I traded, I don't trade stocks like this. That are like there's so many symbols out there. I wouldn't trade it to begin with all this choppiness, but it's an unclear low. So we're still in a connector wave. So I think it does something crazy like this. And then there's always a chance that it could break this low here and be wiped out. Um, we didn't get that capitulation even though it was dramatic. So I think it's something like that is what I'm thinking. But good luck. Do with the chart with whatever you want to do with it. Let's see, CROUSD. Let's see here, USD, Coinbase. So stock like this will just trade it bullish from the low, but we have to keep in mind you only have three waves up, so it could be a corrective pattern. Uh, you, so it looks like you broke the high, so it looks like you actually may have five waves up here, um, and that's an impulse. So I would a lot of divergence there. So this is probably the count, some kind of like 1, 2, And this is an ABC. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it could have already peaked in this 5. It doesn't seem like it, given that it's only 3 swings up. Uh, there is a possibility it's still in wave 4 if you get a flat, but I'd be looking for the 5. So right now, the way I would just label it is something like a 1, 2, 1, 2, and 5. So I'd be looking for more upside right now. And if you're lucky, divergence is erased and it keeps going really high. So I would be looking for more upside in the cycle right now, and then see where it goes. But that's how I'd label it right now. As long as you're in this trend here, should be good. This trend line. So good luck with that. Yeah, I mean, I think it's gonna break out. Yes, I think it'll break out. Okay, BLDE. Blade Ear. It's a new one for us. I don't think we've seen that one before. Again, we trade, go to zeros from the low. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Now we got the breakout. Yeah, so we'll be looking for more upside in this. So this one, you just want to sit tight, be long, stay long, and enjoy the ride, because this still has more room to run. There's more room to run. That one's an easy one. And that breakout, this could break out. Now that could be a 3 and a 4 here, but it could also be another 1, 2. Like that. It could easily do that. Yeah, I would just yeah, when it's you would see maybe more RSI overbought. So it's a 50-50 if that's still a 1, 2, or that's a 3 here. I'll just put that as a conservative count, but you should see more upside. Where can we get more of your trades? Ignoring here and Twitter. I don't share my trades because I used to do that, and people, well, were stupid about, like, they just blindly copy. Like they'll like I may trade something and put like a small portion in, have good risk management, but a lot of people I follow don't do that. They'll just say, "Oh, he said buy gold miners." So I put everything I own in gold miners, and I lost all my money because it went down in 24 hours, and I bought calls. I lost all my money, and then a week later it goes up because I don't buy puts and calls, and then they're mad. They get angry, and they actually say they want to kill me and stuff. So I don't give trades anymore because there's a lot of stupid people out there that don't know how to trade. And so they don't understand trading isn't just about this is the symbol. It's about how much money do you want to put in it? Where's your stop loss? When do you take profit? What percent of your portfolio is in that stock compared to others? What sector are you in? Are you diversified? Like that all goes into my calculation of when I pick something, right? And what I pick may not be good for you. And where you are, maybe you're 70 years old and can't take the risk. Maybe you're 20 years old and could care less. So my point is, like, I don't give those trade setups only because people have been so stupid with the news. But as you can see, most of the time the trades work out if you give them enough time that I do mention, but I don't tell you what I'm in because it's just people are too dumb these days. And maybe one day I'll have a subscription model where I will vet my clients, and then we can then I will share all the details with people. And I have been thinking about doing something like that, where it's like, here's the trade today, here's what your entry, here's your stop loss is this, and this is what I'd recommend doing. Like, but right now I'm not ready to do that and commit to that, but maybe one day. Let's go to your questions. CRV, um, CRV. Looks like we don't have that one. I'll just pick this one. All right, so that's a pretty good reversal. This looks like an impulse with a fifth wave. Just looking at it, to me. Let's see what we got. So I do like, you see how it capitulated right there. Let's see, we right there. So we'll definitely say it's bullish from that low, right? 1, 2. Now you have your bearish divergence. So then you have so it looks like you're in this fourth wave. And you need one more high. And then there'll be a really nasty pullback. All right, and then NVIDIA. Let's take a look at NVIDIA. So NVIDIA could be at a critical moment for wave 3 wipeout. So this is a very critical moment for NVIDIA. As you can see, we're on the trend line. Wave 2 could be over, about to see the 3 of 3 to the downside. We don't know. Now what happens if it doesn't do that? Well then wave 5 extends, right? And then this is a 1, 2, and we'll go even more parabolic. Think Palantir, right? So this is a very important pivot, 146.63. So we'll have to we don't know yet, but we'll just wait and see what happens next week. Like I said, could be a really horrific moment in the market if Nvidia is about to give it up. Now, if Nvidia can push higher and break this high, then I believe this high will come out, taken out, and there'll be a massive short squeeze. And the wave 5 will extend. It will extend. And you got a very shallow correction. So we'll see. I still think I favor the downside, but what do I know? All right, and Tesla, I'm sorry, Poet. Let's take a look here. So it broke that low. So that's very dangerous. That means it could do, it could really tank. Looks like you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down. Let's see here. So erase divergence. So, oh, there's the peak. So it's only 3 down. So, yeah, A, B, C. So this is corrective here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Yeah, I mean, this could be a couple things. It could be a big flat correction like that. But since you broke that low, that would imply more downside. So it can't be that. So then the only other alternative is you're still in B, which means you have this A, B, C. Massive pump coming. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna favor this count for now, and we'll see if it happens. Good luck. You may get something like this. You see how it's done that? It's done that. It may be due for one of those moves. All right, and I already did Nvidia, so Tesla. Tesla is should be close to cycle peak in this fifth wave, which we predicted. It's still in a fifth wave. The next area is 410, and then we could see a big pullback back down to 300. Um, let's take a look at how we're trading. ABC, yeah, it should be almost finished. Almost finished. And that is unless it erases divergence, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're still trading in 3. So again, there's still more upside. It took divergence out. So more upside, you see? That's why I was trying to say you can't try to call peak because it could extend and erase divergence and then really break out. But still 5. All right, so let's look at the 4-hour. Yeah, still divergent. All right, so Tesla is more upside, but it should be finishing up this like blow off top, cycle blow off top here pretty soon for a peak. Okay, and CONL. Oh, Coinbase long. Looks like we got that B wave right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, and now we're pushing up in C. So we're either still in B, where we take another dip lower, or B is finished. We don't know. There's not enough data. So let's look at the stock itself. Coin is in a 5. So coin is either 5 is done, and it's in a flat. It's going to do this. Like MicroStrategy, it's either going to do that, pull back, or it's extending in 5 in a 1, 2, 1, 2. So there's not enough data to really know, but I guess to go back to CONL, I would say ultimately more upsides coming. But this could be still very choppy in this B wave. It seems like it's a little too quick for me. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a dip back down to 46 and then out of this. So I do like to buy it if it does come down here. If I'm already in it, I would just hold for now because there's a chance it's finished. So I would be careful trying to trade in and out of it, but you can't rule out the possibility of a flat where it pulls back to 46 and then it comes out later. Uh, it just doesn't seem likely given the bullishness in crypto at the moment. And if this is the count, then you have a 1 2 1 2 and you got a lot more upside coming. All right, IRBT. iRobot. So it broke that low, which is very dangerous. Bigger picture. Looks like you have some kind of peak here in an ABC, a massive flat out pattern in a 1, 2. Let's take a look. Yeah, so no, I wouldn't call it the flat. It's too big. That B wave's too big for a flat. One, two, three, four, 5. 1, 2, 3 connector. One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so this should be over at any moment. And that's what this is turning. You see how it's turning up? You see that it broke out on the monthly stochastic. So yeah, I think the bottom's in on this, and it should start a new cycle higher, or at least have a relief rally, a significant one, multi-month. Uh, so it's bouncing. So yeah, I would just shorter cycle, just say this is the low for now and just trade it off the low. So you have a 1, 2, and then you have another 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see, that's the peak, so it's another 1, 2. And we'll see where it goes from here. That could be a, yeah, it's an extended fifth. So I think it's something like that. Could be a dip buy. I'll show you the dip buy area if it does decide to sell off at 847, 835. Right here is a possibility. Okay. All right, let's go through some other ones. GOEV, old one that had pumped a while ago in the healthcare, monkeypox, I think. One. Oh, it's a different, wrong one. GOEV. Oh, it's that canoe one. Yeah, canoe. Um, let's see what's happening here. So it tried to find a low, but it kept pushing low down, right? So we're still in this fifth wave. It's still extending. So we're again, Elliott wave has the opposite problem, where it's just going to keep extending to the downside. Um, you want to see that bullish divergence. That looks like a 3-4 here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So actually still got more downside. So that's the problem with these Elliott waves. Again, it just can keep extending and extending until you run out of money. And it took out all the divergence there. So it just totally blew up the bull case, because now you have another now it's just going to be destroyed, because now you have a 1, 2, right? Extend it. It just keeps extending. So I would be just looking to short the balances now on this. This chart is not a chart I would be looking to try to go long. Um, will there be bounces? Yes, but all those bounces are shorts now. Because I'll look at all the 4s and 5s that are going to have to play out. So you have to play, and it could just keep extending lower, so it doesn't stop. It could just keep going and going and going. So that's what happened here with that. Too many people bought the dip, and they got blown up. So is it due another bounce? Sure, it is due a bounce. You could try to play that for, but understand that it's just going to keep going lower for a while. It's got to just keep driving lower. And then HURA. Let's see here. Um, looking at that, that's a nice off the low reaction, but it could also be a corrective move here because of the way the low broke. So it's only in 3. Yeah, so I think you have another swing higher at least. So again, off the low, I would just say that you have a 1, you have a 2, and now you're coming off the low. And then off of this low, You have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for another 1, 2. So I would expect more upside as this impulse plays out. PTN. Almost in our buy area. Looking for that final push lower. Just patiently waiting. No changes to that chart. This one's really clear to me that we should go lower and take out that divergence. So I think a capitulation move is coming to the downside. Okay, Uber. Uber is another one we got right. Somebody mentioned, and we got that. As you can see here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1, 2. And our buy area is at 54 for a massive wave 2 opportunity and a flat. This B was a bull trap. And we anticipated that because it was only in 3 waves, not 5. And we got the pullback. And now we should see more downside. But I do like to buy it for investment opportunity, long-term investment opportunity in this colored area. Good luck with that. But I wouldn't buy it here. And that's it for your questions. And then VLK, let's see, Volkswagen, VLKPF. Again, it just keeps extending lower, so there's still no bottom to be found. If we broke this low as well, so we're actually still in that wave too. Looks like to me you've got some kind of flat correction here that we're dealing with. So I'd be expecting more downside. And I think you'll get some separation to the downside coming soon. We're looking for $34. So we got, I think, a significant amount of downside about to happen in this now that it broke the pivots, the bullish pivots. And down we go. All right, KPL, let's see, KPLUY. Never heard of this one. So here again, looks like some kind of 3-wave move down with a connector wave that is about to fail. Looks like you've got some kind of WXY structure. And we're looking for more downside. There should be a bounce soon coming, but that bounce should fail and go lower. Something like that. You see, and then it bounce. So bounce is coming, and then that should fail. All right, Synchrony. I heard they tanked or something recently. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe they didn't tank. I must have been thinking of somebody else. All right, so we broke to highs, and looks like a 1-2, 1-2 setup, and we're breaking out. Very bullish. No divergence. So this is clearly one you want to buy the dips in 3 waves, but this cycle should be coming to an end soon. You're starting to get bearish divergence finally. But as you can see, much more upside it will happen. So I'd be looking to buy the dips in 3 waves in this instrument. A lot more upside. This is a future, looks like a future growth stock in the financial sector. Yeah, VIX. The VIX here, very oversold, which happens when investors are super complacent. So looking at this, it looks like we have 5 waves down with a connector. Looking for 5 waves down here. That will push us in a 1-2. Looks like we're in a 3. So actually, I could see more downside in the VIX a little bit more. But the buy area where we should get a bounce is right at this 12.5 area. And the VIX is in danger of having a really big reaction off of that area, even though it could still technically push a little lower. Bigger picture, we have a big 3-wave move down from this high, W, X, Y, and then A, B, C. But you really want to see that capitulation in the VIX. You want to see this peak taken out, which I believe will happen, and this taken out. So once those two things happen, then the VIX could be at another major cycle low, where then it has to correct this whole move down, and that could create a lot of volatility to the upside in 3 large waves. So definitely, I like to be more aggressive going long VIX products in this area and just kind of being patient because the VIX isn't going to zero. This is historic, low. This is getting low territory especially given everything going on in the world and with Trump coming in and the changes. I think this is I think this is a great time to get long some volatility here. But would I see more downside in the VIX? I can see some more downside coming. Okay. But once we hit my Fibonacci target, despite my Elliott wave count, it could be in danger of a vertical move. So I don't want to get too cute either, trying to time it either. All right, GME. I covered GME earlier, but basically GME is a great opportunity that should be ending a cycle very soon. But in its 5th wave, GME tends to have those massive short squeezes. So again, you just don't want to get cute trying to get in and out of it. I have it where we're 5 off this low, one more high, and then a big pullback. If it's 5, now 5 can also go much higher. It could do one of the vertical. They always end cycles on these vertical spikes, so could be due for that. If not, we could still be in 4, and that's why I have a dip buy area at 4 at $25. If next week it does do that, I like to buy GME at 25 to try to play this wave 5 move to finish this larger degree cycle. You kind of see it's starting to go like parabolic, right? Look at that, So that's the GME chart, and I gave an update earlier. All right, let's go to the next one here, RAIFF, Raffian Bank. Again, not a lot of data. We're looking for that 5th wave. We have to look at the higher time frames because it's very illiquid. But you can see I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down. But again, it's hard for me to even chart it properly. But once this wave ends, and it looks like it did. It looks like it's broke the downtrend here. Then that's it. It should start coming higher. So I'd be looking for more upside looking at this now. And it looks like it's in a 1-2, 1-2 setup if I'm reading the dots right. And again, very illiquid, hard to trade it, but it looks like it wants to go higher right now. And then VALN should be ending its cycle at any moment, right? As long as we maintain divergence. Now, see how you erase divergence there? So the market's extending lower. You're extending lower. So the wave 4 was negated. So we're actually still pushing lower in wave 3. So this is, again, I mentioned like how Elliott waves kind of is hard. You can't just trade on Elliott waves. So I would be looking for more downside now. And we'll have to look at the labeling again in it. And now you have a 1-2. So more downside to come with bounces. So I would just short the bounces now that happen and not look to buy this anymore, as the bull case has pretty much been vanquished. On this, okay, Anonymous, let's go back to you. well, when HUT hits 44.50, or when HUT, I would say there is no guarantee HUT can go higher than that. I'm just saying I think it safely will hit 44.50, but HUT could go much higher than that. It could go, like, use your imagination. It could go like extraordinarily high. But yeah, when that cycle ends, Bitcoin's ended its 4-year cycle. So that's another way of timing the move in HUT. So HUT will continue to extend, right? It should, as long as Bitcoin's cycle continues. So maybe we're not aggressive enough with the 45 target because of where Bitcoin is in a cycle. I think Bitcoin will continue much higher than people imagine. I don't think the numbers of 3 to 500,000 are high enough, to be honest with you, because that's people imagine that. What would be unimaginable would be over 900,000, that type of those type of figures. That would be unthinkable, and that's what wave threes do. They go to unthinkable levels, and that's probably the type of target I'm thinking in my mind. Would be if it's a wave three of the grand super cycle. And again, there's still a slight possibility it isn't, because we still have bearish divergence on the weekly time frame until that's erased. You still have the bear case is still possible in the mid cycles. But to answer the question on HUT, I mean, yeah, HUT should see this $44 area, but when HUT ends this cycle, yeah, obviously Bitcoin will end the cycle. Now, what we could see with HUT is the bigger picture, right? A break of 82. So what we could see in HUT is a pullback, and maybe Bitcoin has a pretty bad pullback, but then it does something like that, like it does something like this. So we could see something like that too, and then the pullback could be just really severe. Maybe Bitcoin hits 150, 200,000. This hits 44. Bitcoin pulls all the way back to, let's say, 99, 95, 100,000 again. This has a flash crash back down to 2420, and then everything support it, and then you get another big push higher in Y. So that's what I'm looking at big picture. But whenever the Bitcoin cycle ends, then this cycle will go on as long as that's for years, right? Like we saw back here, right? So we just have to. That's why you can't time it. You have to just stay long. There's nothing else I can say. Like if you're trying to get cute with it, you just because it can just keep going higher and higher. So I think you just have to stay long, and then at some point you're taking money to where you're like, I made enough money. I made enough, and I just walk away, like I did with Palantir, right? I mean, I got in at 9, got out in the 20s, but yeah, it's at 70. It's just the way it goes. But hey, I made some money on it. I could have stayed long, and I do think though, if you get out at 44, it could easily go into the 80s in a mania mode, and you'll look back and go, why did I do it? But then again, 44 is a nice spot for it to have a dramatic pullback, and then you could lose everything you had and then end up selling with nothing to show for it. So these are the decisions you have to make, and that's why I always say you have to do what's best for you on these. But yeah, I mean, if it's a wave three super cycle, grand super cycle, if I'm correct in that, Bitcoin will go beyond 500,000, beyond it, and you can save my post, but no one's saying that. All right, DJT I do like to get in on that if I can get like a really good sell off, and I'm just not getting a good sell off that I like in it. I want to get a better entry in this DJT. Um, but the chart's the chart, so looking at this like 1 2 count here could be. It looks like some kind of leading diagonal coming out. ABC move. So I'm looking for something like this, and then a pullback. If we can make this fifth wave, that would confirm the low, and then you get a pullback, and then you continue higher. So that's what I'm thinking right now. And it's looking more and more likely that that low is the low, and it truncated on this Y wave. Um, and we did not have divergence, so it's more than likely truncated here, and it's building off its next cycle higher, eventually taking out those highs. UEC is, I believe, really set up for a big pump right now. Of course, that could always change. Um, so bigger picture, again, you have a massive cup and handle that goes back to 2006. So the pump will be enormous on this breakout, just from chart pattern trading. It looks like we have a 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2 setup. We keep making higher highs, and recently we broke this high here and here. So this cycle ended. We broke this high, and not only that, we pulled back, correcting this cycle, and then we broke this high recently, which is even more bullish in clear five waves, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you recently broke this high in right now that what I have on the shorter time frames is a 1-2, then a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for a 1-2, and this would be the ideal place between the 4 and the 2 for the final buy before the massive move higher. So this is the setup. Now the setup could always be lost because it is still only 3 that were in this bigger wave 2. And if that does happen, we could see it drop to 790, which it still will come out. So I think because we're making higher highs, clearly the market this will break out. It's just there is a chance of a shakeout and then higher, but I don't want to miss it. So this is kind of where we are with it right now. So that's the current count on UEC, and it just keeps grinding higher. And in the next move should break out the all-time high, and once that breaks, the all-time high breaks, then technically it should just go crazy high because that's the patterns usually play out like that. So that's the play here. Good luck with trading it. And then GDX is in an area where I believe it still has more upside coming. Um, we sidestepped the landmine. We anticipated the flat correction here, and so this first leg is over. So now the question is this a connector or not? If it's a connector, then gold's going to take another leg lower, right? If this is a connector, then it will drop back down to this $32 area for the final low in this 1-2. But I want to be aggressive, and I want to say that this too could be in. And if that's the case, then we have another 1-2 right here with a possible dip into 36.26. Again, very low risk, high reward setup here. And we'll see what happens. This is the play for the wave 3 breakout in the gold miners. If it doesn't happen and we break this pivot here, then wave 2 will take another swing lower. More than likely gold will go down to that 2,400 target I had. But ultimately, because we broke the high on B, this is supported and we have much more upside in the future. So this is something you want to be definitely accumulating, I would say, for the long term. UVIX is not I think the last update I gave on the UVIX is I'm looking for this type of pattern where you have an A, B, C with a bigger B and a bigger push slower in C. Now, if we come down in B more, then we put B here, and then we'll have to put C here, so I don't think it's gonna do that. We'd have to race divergence, so it'd have to have some significant downside coming down to the low $2 area to do that. So that's why I don't have that count. I have this count right now. That count, which means this B can end at any moment. And then we'll get C for a bigger B, and then a bigger drop, and then a much bigger move higher. But this C could actually, still extend pretty significantly. There's no reason for it to stop where I have it. So I do believe at some point this is about to come to an end. And you saw the VIX is in an area of major support, way oversold. This is due for a big move higher soon. TSLQ, I don't like buying any shorts in Tesla. I only like to buy the dips. I would not recommend trying to time the short, but as you know, it's due. It has 3 connector, 3, 1, 2, 3, and it looks like it's almost finished, but not quite. So just like I was showing the Tesla chart, Tesla has a little more upside. This could see 28, $24, and then that should do it. So like I said, I don't like to trade this because of Tesla's breakout. Tesla could keep extending higher. So I don't like to trade it, but if you want to try to buy it, the best way to buy this would be to time it with Tesla. If you're going to try, and again, I don't recommend trying to short Tesla anymore, given what the bull breakout. But if you try to time it, buy it when Tesla hits 410, then you buy it, no matter the price. So when Tesla, you watch the price of Tesla. When Tesla hits $410, go buy that. And if you're lucky, if it was you're lucky, your day at the casino, your number came up, you win. And I think there's a good chance you will if you still have the bearish divergence, but you are could be buying a massive breakout. So that's why I wouldn't do it. It's completely gambling and it's a lottery play on the downside if you're going to try that, and you could lose all your money. T-Doc, yeah, I'm kind of mad at myself for not buying that. I saw that move and just didn't. Oh, my bad. I thought you were talking about DocuSign. Yeah, T-Doc, we got the low here. We have a wedge breakout, a massive wedge breakout about to happen. I do like to stay long it on this dip here. This dip looks like it's done in 5 here. Let's take a look here. Oh, we erased divergence. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1, 2. Yeah. So it looks like to me you have a 1, 2 here, and then you have some kind of 1, 2 here, and then I won't. This could be a 3, 4, but it could be a 1, 2. I believe it's moving higher. It's found the low. It's found the low. But like I said, if it's a 3, 4, it could be topping out. It could have a pullback, could come out like that. So I'm just showing the chart I have. But if it could give a bigger dip, then there's another opportunity to go long. Yeah, I guess maybe conservatively I should say that's a 3 and a 4 here. Actually, I took out the high, so I could make that a 5. And put the 3 there. So I'm being conservative, something like that. And we'll see what happens. Sedge. Yeah, this one is another, like, we're trying to chase the downside. It's still extending in wave 5. Still have, so it's still just a so again, should be coming to an end at any moment. The market keeps extending the 5th wave, but at some point it will end as long as that divergence it should end at any moment. It's going to end at any moment. It's so stretched, and you have the bullish divergence playing out here. Yeah, so this is due for a bounce soon. It's due any moment. Any moment. You can watch that downtrend line. Um, Let me look at the weekly cycle. Yeah, you see it's turning up. It looks like it broke a little bit. So yeah, we're close. We're close. I think it's about to turn up a counter trend bounce. Okay, good luck. It's not a price that it would have to break. It's the RSI. It would be the divergence. So it would be the way to watch it would be the weekly chart. The weekly chart, and watch the RSI. When you see the RSI take this peak out on the weekly chart, then the bear case is negated, and you're in a wave 3 of the grand supercycle. The wave 3 of the grand supercycle will probably mean prices beyond what you guys think is possible. But until that happens, the bear case is there's still a bear case. I mean, I can't get too delusional, but the bear case is only another dip to buy, and it's just another. You know where the direction of this market's going. It's higher, so it's just another big dip to buy if that happens. But I don't personally see it because of the time we spent consolidating down here. It was just too long. That's just my guess. Looks like I got another question come in from Alwyn. I don't see your question, but thanks for the big super chat, man. I'm about to wrap it up. I'll scan through some comments before I go, and if you have a question, just let me know. Uh, yeah, I've answered a lot of things. Anything that's undervalued, a lot of things to me. What's undervalued right now is gold miners, uranium. Some of the cyclical plays still are undervalued because they're anticipating not the type of inflation that we may be about to see. But when we do see it, I believe people will panic into those instruments, is my guess. If Palantir, if the low is, then I messed up. I do this pretty quick, but you get the idea. Palantir's in a wave three. Palantir's in a wave three. Erase and divergence. AMD should go lower, should have another leg lower. The whole semiconductor sector needs another leg lower. The whole sector, and then it has a massive opportunity to buy the dip. Um, I I don't know. I think the metals is a wild card. I don't know how the news cycle is gonna mess with the metals in terms of like what the narrative will be to drive it higher. But I believe that the chart tells me that the metals should go higher. That's the But I don't know what what will be the narrative to do that while oil drops. It's hard for me to say at this point. Um, if Japan raises rates, that will definitely strengthen the yen, and that would definitely cause that yen carry trade to start to panic again. DocuSign moons, I know, and I was watching that chart, man, and I was ready to buy it, but I was like, I don't know if I want to play in that. I still regret that one. Sound has been great, guys. Right? Sound Hound is another trusted chart. I think I put that on my Twitter. That one we hit the jackpot on. Sound Hound, man. But again, had to be patient. A lot of people weren't patient. Oh, it's just shit's taking forever. Elliot Wade says he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. He doesn't know shit. Oh my God, it's trading at $13. What happened? Oh, maybe he does know. So I think that's a great example of being patient, letting the chart play out. Soundhound. Okay, there we go. There's the ones. I'll go through these comments from Alwyn and go from there. Jumia. Yeah, I was tempted to buy Jumia myself as a lotto play type thing. The reason is there's a good chart for bullish, move on that. Um, Here's my chart on it. We've got 5 waves. You got 5 waves down, a connector, and you have 5 waves down and hit my buy target and bounced. It's a very risky play, but if this plays out, the reward could be enormous. So you have to do what's best for you on it. It is tempting to buy it though. It could be in a 1-2 moment. The other possibility, that's a 3-4-5 there, and you put the one there, and we get a pullback, and maybe there's another opportunity to buy it soon again in the low fours. But we're just keeping an eye on it. But as long as it's above 351, this bull chart is a possibility. Is a possibility. Um, and then DM Nano Dimension. So again, kind of like in that go to zero mode. Looks like it's only 3 waves up here. Looks like you have some kind of 5 wave move down. I would expect a counter trend bounce soon, but then that more than likely that bounce is going to fail, and it may make it up to $4, but I wouldn't count on it. I mean, more than likely you have some kind of 1, 2 about to play out a wave 2. Just looking at this chart, it looks like that wave 2 should be coming to, wave 1 should be coming to an end very soon. Right, this looks like a 5th wave that should be about to pump. So we should be about to get a breakout here in wave 2. Zimmer was doing that flat correction that I mentioned, the higher degree flat correction, but the overall picture remains the same. We all we need to do is get back down. This more than likely, looking at it, looks finished to me. It was expanded flat with a small truncation, so I believe it's probably finished that correction, that shakeout, and should be moving higher. As long as you're above $19, I would continue to play this to the upside. A break below that would extend C, and then this would become a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it would just continue to extend lower. But then there won't be a 1, 2, 1, 2 setup. It would be like an A, B, C, and it would be in this wave 2, and then we'd come back down to 15. But ultimately, in the future, it's going to be, I think, a great stock to own. It just could be some more pain to come. But right now, we could see the end. This could be the low right there. And I believe, in qubits, let's see, qubits. What is that, qubit? Oh, QBTS. That one looks like we called that one perfectly. Erase and divergence, so that gets rid of the wave 5. We get another wave 2. And we just keep going. Just going to keep going. And look, guys, we had to buy on this one here. We had to buy right here. So this pump worked out. This pump worked out. And there's still much more upside to go. I wouldn't be interested in selling it at all. Damn, why is this thing so crazy? Oh, it's quantum. Oh yeah, this has got, so if this pulls back for some reason, I'd be looking to go long this still. This still has a lot more room to run. This one has a lot more room to run. All right, I got through everyone's question. And semis needs another leg lower. Even if we bounce, I'm looking for another leg lower. The best way to time the semis is there's this one stock I'm watching in the semi sector that I think has a clear chart for me. A clear chart would be, let's see if I can find it here, ASML. ASML at 5, this to me is a very clear chart because of the wave structure. ASML right here would will give me a warning sign not to be bearish on the semis too much longer. AMD lower in this $90 area. I don't think it'll make it down that low, but somewhere here. And then Micron, again, breaking that low here, sets us up. Even if it goes higher, will set us up, needs another leg lower, needs to break this low. Again, may not make it all the way down, but semis need another leg lower. Another leg like that has to happen, like this. Then I believe you got a great opportunity. I just think it's not ready for Moonboy yet. Broadcom hitting 5, needs another, come down to 129. A lot of these semis just aren't there yet. How's ARM doing? Big wave 2. Now ARM's a little interesting, but it's only 3 waves. So yeah, ARM could be a flat, drop back down to 62. So I don't like to trade the semis right now. I don't like to trade them, but I know a lot of people do. So you guys got to do what's best for you. But I'd rather wait for a bigger pullback and then go long. All right, guys. Thanks again. Good luck trading. We'll see what happens next week. Could be a good opportunity on the long side for China, and weak dollar trades. That's kind of the idea for long positions, and of course the way to short it, I would say, is like long VIX type. Long VIX is like what I'm thinking. There's hedges, so puts in certain sectors that are bearish, like this sector I just showed you, and some of the others. All right, guys, that's all I got. Oh man, we got one more super chat just came in. AMC, a dagger, but did it kill the run? No, AMC has got one more. And I did an AMC update for someone earlier. AMC should make one more high in this cycle, and I don't think it's killed it just yet. I think GME and AMC kind of are the same chart, and they're both showing one, and they both are showing one more high is needed in this fifth wave. So I don't think so. But as you know, the fifth wave in meme stocks usually